Hello and good morning, it's Wednesday of week 8 and we're back with more news and entertainment.
Today we will be discussing the censorship of Scan with Ollie Orton.
And we will be joined by LUSU VP Tom Stapleton to talk about the JCR and CCO elections.
Stay tuned for Good Morning Lancaster. Welcome back, I'm Jack Hill.
And I'm Siri Hamperport. Let's bring you up to date with the news headlines. Today at 10 a.m, the JCR and CCO elections opened up, so it's time for you to have your vote. A variety of positions are available, for women's liberation to post-grad rep for FAS. There are many candidates across campus keen to gain their positions in their college's JCR or as CCO.
The question is, how many people actually go out and vote? Last year, Furness had the highest turnout with 28% of college members voting. We decided to find out, and here's questions on the spine.
In the JCR and CCO elections?
No.
Yes, I will be.
Yeah, I think I will be going to vote.
Probably.
Yeah, I am voting. No.
Probably not.
Probably. Yeah, I probably will be.
Potentially. I think so.
Yeah, I'll be voting in the Bowland JCR ones.
No.
No. What I mean as in like taking part in it or voting?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll vote.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
No. No.
Probably not, no.
Yes, I will be.
Sweet or salted popcorn?
Sweet.
Both? That can happen.
Sweet, please.
Sweet.
Sweet. Salted. Salted, definitely.
Sweet. Mixed.
Sweet, definitely. I like salty popcorn.
Oh, always sweet.
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 Oh, sweet.
Salty.
Sweet popcorn, for sure.
Salty for sure.
Sweet.
Sweet. Sweet, definitely.
Sweet.
The vote on whether a move to boycott Israel-based companies that operate on campus should go ahead opens today. This regards the issue of divestment from companies with interests in Israel and the disputed Palestinian territories. The aim of the BDS movement is to put pressure on Israel until it changes its policy towards people living in the disputed territories of the West Bank and Gaza Strip. A vote yes could result in major products such as Coca-Cola being removed from campus.
The JCR and CCO elections opened this morning at 10 a.m. Fierce competition is now underway for the 14 or 15 positions available on each college JCR exec and the 20 plus CCO positions dedicated to representing particular areas around campus. Voting closes on Friday at 4 p.m.
It may have come to your attention that Scan's front page is quite unusual this week. Tensions have been rising recently in light of the upcoming BDS referendum, and the newspaper has been covering the debate without bias.
A cartoon was proposed for the front page based on the novel Alice in Wonderland. The cartoon was not supporting voting yes or no and focused on whether abstention from voting was a valid option. Scan was prevented from publishing the cartoon on its front page earlier this week by LUSU.
LUSU have released a statement which reads, "We have asked Scan not to publish the cartoon in order to ensure fairness on both sides of the BDS debate. Scan feels that this misses the point, and we will be talking more about this with Scan editor Ollie Orton when he joins us a little later on."
The government's much-awaited Education Green Paper was released on Friday week 5 to wildly mixed reviews. This was first reported to make substantial changes to the sector since 1992 Further and Higher Education Act. Proposals sweep away the funding and regulatory regime and possibly remove the cap on tuition fee increases. At this stage, the system hasn't been introduced and it's impossible to tell what the implications might be.
On Monday evening, a debate was held over the BDS referendum in Faraday. LA1 TV was at the debate, and there is a link to the full debate in the description.
In a moment, we will be joined by Scan editor Ollie Orton to discuss the news headlines. Firstly, many people do not know how the voting system employed by Lucy works, but Good Morning Lancaster did some digging and found this video which explains it well. First, let's talk about the news, Siri. Sweet or salty popcorn?
Oh, I think I'm a salty popcorn girl myself.
I have to
yeah.
agree. I like a salty popcorn.
But do you know what I don't understand? Sweet and salted popcorn. You know, you get that combination?
No, I
not
couldn't
for
do
me.
that. That's
no,
not for me.
You have to choose one.
I add extra salt to my popcorn.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's bad or if that's done, but that's what I do.
I mean, salted popcorn is unhealthy as it is, Jack.
Yeah.
That's really
but
not a good
popcorn's
idea.
supposed to be the healthiest snack that you can get.
Oh, really?
I know it's like you think of it to be carby and stuff,
Yeah.
but you know there's not much to it apart from a bit of material and air.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a good snack to have. Other news, BDS. It's been in our news for the past few weeks on Good Morning Lancaster.
We've covered it almost every week
Every
because
week.
it's a very up-and-coming issue that most students should know about and should be voting on.
Yeah, if you've been watching, you should know a lot about it now.
Yeah.
It's coming to a close kind of this week when the voting opens. How much of you did you go down to the thing on Monday?
I couldn't
debate?
manage to go down,
Didn't.
but yeah, it definitely seems like a very controversial, interesting debate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just it's scary to think what might actually happen being back on campus. I think
Definitely.
HP's involved as well. So yeah, we'll see how that plans out. The green paper.
Yes.
We could be going to an American kind of scheme. What do you think?
No, I'm definitely not on board with that. I mean, increasing tuition fees is bad enough as it is.
I know, it's high enough already.
And, yeah.
Do you know any people running for JCR
I
election?
do know.
Do you?
Yeah, there's a girl on my cheerleading team running for her JCR, and she's busy campaigning,
Yeah.
posting links to a Facebook page, getting us all to like it and
Yeah.
supporting her. Even though I don't think she has anybody running against her,
All right.
she's still
She's
like
got it already.
She's got it. She's still like campaigning, making all the efforts, and that's what the kind of commitment that you need from somebody that's running for JCR.
Yeah. Would you think of running for anything next year?
Maybe next year,
Next year.
maybe not this year.
Yeah.
Like I'm still like getting settled into
Settling
uni
in.
this time.
The only problem is next year you've got the workload increasing.
That's true.
So now I'm like, I'm just not going to do it. Firstly, many people do not know how the voting system employed by Lucy works. Here's the VT that explains it very well.
Hello, I'm here to guide you through the single transferable voting system that we use during LUSU elections. We use preferential voting, so you just need to vote in the order of your favourite candidates. And remember, if you're not happy with any candidates, you can vote for Ron to reopen nominations and run the election again. In this election, Inky is my favourite candidate, so I'll vote them number 1. Then Pinky number 2, Ron number 3, and then, sorry Blinky, but you're number 4. It's as simple as that. Now let's see how we find a winner. A winner is found if they have over 50% of the votes. In the first round of voting, we received 2,870 votes, so the quota is calculated at 1,436. We can see that no candidates have reached this, so Ron, having the least amount of votes, gets eliminated. If Ron was your first choice, your second choices are now counted. These votes are distributed to the remaining candidates. The votes and quota are recalculated moving into the second round. Again, with no candidates reaching the quota. Pinky is eliminated due to having the least amount of votes. We now do the same with Pinky's vote and distribute your votes to the next available preference to the remaining candidates. Moving into the final round, the votes and quota are recalculated. We can see that although Blinky was leading from the start, a greater number of voters preferred Inky. Inky, being a preferred candidate for the majority of voters, reaches 1,430 votes, meaning they have met the quota and is elected. So there you have it. Hopefully now you know a bit more about the STV voting system we use at LUSU. For more information, you can always head over to lusu.co.uk/elections and visit our Facebook and Twitter pages.
We are now joined by Scan editor Ollie Orton. Welcome, Ollie.
Morning.
So let's first talk about the front cover of Scan, Ollie.
Yes.
Can you explain a bit about why it's like this?
Well, as you said before, we did initially have a cartoon planned for the front page. We can't remember a time that Scan's done something like that before. We thought it would change it up a bit, so maybe get people interested in the debate and actually give our comment on it without picking a side. Because as you both know, there's been a lot of criticism of LUSU over the past few weeks for actually holding this debate. So we put in the cartoon basically saying, why can't we abstain from voting? This was all fine, and we got to Thursday last week, which is when we send it off for print, and we got told quite simply that we couldn't publish it on the front page. And by that point, we were 3 hours away from sending it off to print. So
it's not ideal having to change it at the last minute.
And I mean, we were asked to find a new story, and we were like, we can't really in 3 hours for something to go on the front page. So that's basically how we came up with that. Boxed into a corner almost, and we didn't really have too many other options.
Well, it definitely gets people's attention.
Yeah,
eye-catching. I think it is.
When we were giving them out yesterday, on Monday on the Spine, a lot of people had stopped and like, this is quite interesting.
Yeah.
So we've had a lot of people saying kind of what's this all about. We've had quite a few emails of support as well about it. So
I mean, as students, we feel like we want to have a voice, and then to see this on the front cover of a newspaper,
and
you think
it doesn't help as well, because I mean there's a lot of talk on campus about LUSU's role with students, and a lot of people kind of feel that they almost get an easy ride. And I think if we had just put something else on the front page, that would have just added to it, wouldn't it? So we felt we really did have to demonstrate what we felt was going on here.
Do you think this move by LUSU was just them trying to avoid further criticism than what they've already received?
I think that's partly it.
Yeah.
I think another part of it is that they've become almost too sensitive to the potential repercussions of something. One of the reasons we were told that we couldn't publish it was because they felt it would show bias to a particular side, which is just not. It's just not the case.
They've missed the point of the cartoon.
Yeah, completely. And
you felt that the statement missed the point as well, didn't you? That was what something was said in the editorial part.
I did. I honestly didn't believe what the statement from LUSU said was true. We were sat there. We had a kind of emergency editorial committee just to discuss where can we go in this short space of time. And when we saw the statement come through, we kind of thought, it just seems like they're hiding behind something in an attempt to stop us from publishing it. And the issue is, they've now made a story about themselves a lot bigger than a story about the cartoon would have been.
Yeah, it's been blown out of proportion a little
exactly,
bit.
yeah.
From my understanding, Scan wanted to highlight what was going on behind the scenes. Is that kind of what you were aiming
at? I mean, the concept of the cartoon, I mean, we can describe it as much as we want, was Alice going up to the Mad Hatter, who was offering 2 potions, one yes and one no, and the inference was, whichever way we go, we're still not going to be in a good position here, whichever potion we take. So there was a speech bubble saying, can't I just abstain?
Yeah.
The answer is yes, you can just abstain. But as people may have seen, there was some confusion on Twitter between the FTOs over the weekend, with one saying you could abstain and another saying you can't.
Right.
You can abstain, because we've just looked on the online ballot now, and it's a yes or a no or an abstain.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
So can you talk us through a little bit of any more of the articles in Scan this week? Anything that's important for the students to know?
Well, we've got the very moving service that happened last Monday to remember the victims of the Paris terrorist attacks. I don't know if either of you were there, but I was shocked in a very good way about how many people turned out at such short notice. It was a real credit to the university, I think, and the people who ran the service did a really good job as well to get it organised like that. So we've got that there. Yeah,
we had a VT of the coverage in Alexandra Square. It was on last week's Good Morning Lancaster, and we were sat in the studio and we were surprised how many people actually turned out. Because when it happened, I did the minute silence in France because I was coming back from jailbreak, and it was kind of a humble feeling to be part of it, and to see it was happening in Lancaster as well. It was just kind of nice to know it was echoed around different communities.
I think that was part of it, wasn't it? It showed that there is genuine solidarity here with the university, and you don't see it too often, to be completely honest. It's quite hard for people to get something like that organised, just because most of the time there's people just don't care enough. But it was really good to see that happening.
I read in here that the Lebanese community are feeling a bit underrepresented because there was so much support for all the victims in Paris, but there are still battles going on in Syria that have kind of been neglected. Can you cover that a little bit?
It's a very difficult one, that, isn't it? It's not right that that is the way the media goes.
It comes down to the shock factor, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I think anyway, it was reported in Paris more because it's Paris.
Yeah.
Like you think of it because it's more closer to home. It's it's more unusual.
It's a tourist destination as well. Like people from all over the world are visiting there, so maybe that's why.
I do agree with most people when there was a lot of good discussion going on. We had articles on our website saying why people had removed the French flag filter from their profile, and they're saying, why was this not an option in other attacks that had just happened? Why, for example, was the Facebook "I'm safe" check-in thing? Why was that not open in Beirut, for example? It's a wider debate, but we hope that we've given students who have views on it the platform to get them out there.
Yeah.
So,
Is there any other article that is quite relevant to the student?
I mean, I think we covered all three. So we had a yes, a no, and an abstain article, and the abstain article is a very powerful one. It basically discusses what a lot of people have been saying, which is, should LUSU have ever brought in this referendum? And you've got a question, obviously we're in the middle of a democratic review. You've got to question how it managed to get through Union Council, which is meant to represent all students, when, to be honest, I'd say I haven't really spoken to a student who agrees with the concept of the referendum being held. So that was that was a really good article. We've got a few comments on the green paper, which you touched on before. It's one of those things that it just, to many, seems like it's another kick in the teeth to students.
Just the thought of more, like paying more money.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a case now of we almost expect it.
We do. I agree.
Which is it's wrong, but you just expect every year. Grants and loans, and now this.
Where does it end?
Exactly. Where does it end? And you do have to question how much more the students can take.
Yeah.
Because it's already extremely expensive for most of us to come and study, and
we can all agree on that.
Thousands of pounds. Okay, leave it there for now. Here's another VT. It's BDS questions on the spine. Do you know what the BDS referendum is in week 8?
No.
Yes. No. I don't.
No.
No.
No. No. No. No. No.
No.
And have you had a burrito yet?
No.
No. No. I haven't.
No.
No.
No. No, I haven't. No. No. No.
No.
We can now welcome Tom Stapleton, LUSU VP for Union Development. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We'll talk to you about SCAN, the censorship of SCAN. Do you have an opinion of what's gone on? We've just been talking to Ollie about it before you came in.
Yeah, obviously I have an opinion on it. I haven't heard
Please share.
Yeah, it was a difficult one really, because as full-time officers, I'm the lead officer on the referendum, and Katie is editor-in-chief in SCAN. And there were a couple of things wrong with it in terms of the referendum rules, and a couple of breaches of charity law and the Equalities Act and stuff like that. So it was actually a lot more clear-cut than you would think. But no one enjoys doing that. But
do you know the details on the breach of charity law? Anything? The details to include? No, you don't. What do you think? Who wrote the statement from LUSU that was given to SCAN, or was that just a general? What was released? Do you know who wrote it?
I think it was from Bob.
Yeah, it would have been Bob. Yeah, our communications manager. Yeah.
Okay. We'll move on to the elections. Have you ever run in any? Obviously you have.
Yeah.
What about CCO? Have you run for a CCO?
I didn't know. I thought about going for CCO socials last year, but it was my final year, and I had a lot of work to do, and I really needed to pull it back before that I was Cartmel president, and my degree just kind of took a bit of a nosedive, so I decided to take that time to kind of try and pull it back and then run in the FTO elections.
So moving on to the Green Paper, which we discussed a little bit with Ollie earlier, we don't fully know what it proposes to do. Could you explain a bit more about that?
Well, Will, our president, he's really taken the lead on it, and he's kind of explaining it. He did so in council, and Ollie was there, and we're just kind of trying to get the feedback from the students and try and get them to read it in council and see what they think about it. A lot of the stuff they propose is just kind of taking the cap off the tuition fees, and then it's like you were saying before, like where does it end?
Yeah.
But I think it's important as well, like we flagged in council, not everything in the Green Paper is bad. Obviously there are a couple of headline things that are absolutely abhorrent, but there's a couple of decent things in there as well.
So is there going to be any consultation from LUSU on this?
Yeah, there is, yeah. Like I was saying, Will started with council. Obviously it's a difficult one because it's a very big paper and it's really dull and boring. It's purposely written in a way to try and so you've got a lack of engagement in it because it's so difficult to plough through. I think it's the Times and the Guardian and the NUS have released like an abridged version, so we're going to be trying to circulate that around, send like a page long, and it just condenses it down into like brief bullet points. But yeah, we're going to be going out and consulting with people because it's a very easy thing that just kind of slips under the radar. I think Will's doing a really good job in bringing it to the students.
Yeah. Tom, what's your favourite part of election period? What do you enjoy the most?
My favourite part of election period is seeing all the different campaigns that all the different people running for positions come out with. Like it's never the same every single year. There's always a lot.
Do you have a favourite?
I can't say. If I was going to say if I had a favourite, it's got to be my own FTO campaign. What a fantastic campaign that was.
Are there any unique ideas that you've seen that you thought was quite shocking and you quite liked?
It was
previous years, obviously.
Yeah, it was back when Salman was running for FTO activities, and he had like a little paddling boat, and he got in and he got in late cart and everything. It was really, really good, and he got like a lot of exposure. It was a fantastic idea. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, unfortunately that's all we have time for today, but here's a quick look at what's happening on campus this week.
Tonight, the Sugar House have Books Wednesday from 10:30.
Tomorrow night, the Sugar House have Books Wednesday from 10:30.
Tomorrow night, County Bar are hosting a Harry Potter spectacular from 7:30.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week for more Good Morning Lancaster.